Welcome to Bicycle Retail Radio, presented by the National Bicycle Dealers Association. This is where bicycle retailers, industry innovators, and advocates come together for real conversations about what's happening right now in bike retail, from cargo bikes to carbon fiber. Each episode explores the challenges you're facing, the opportunities ahead, and the people driving our industry forward. We go beyond the surface to uncover practical strategies, fresh perspectives, and authentic stories from shop owners who've been where you are. Whether you're navigating staffing challenges, adapting to market shifts, or looking for your next breakthrough idea, this is your community. Since 1946, the NBDA has been in the trenches with specialty bicycle retailers, providing education, advocacy, and connection when you need it most. Want to be a part of this community? Learn more about NBDA membership at nbda.com.
Hey listeners, welcome back to Bicycle Retail Radio. Thanks for being here. I absolutely love this conversation. I'm chatting with Michael Potter. He is Partnerships Director at Bikeflights. Michael has been to every single retailer summit, and he was just in Bentonville with us. So we talk about shipping trends. We talk about e-bike shipping. We also talk about their new RFID tracking label program. Yeah, lots of great little tips and advice in here. So if you're a retailer or a rider, I think you're going to find this one fun. Michael, welcome back to the podcast. Thanks for being here.
Glad to be here, Heather.
Oh my God, I'm stoked. I just saw you out in Bentonville. I feel like we've been hanging out a lot this year, 2 summits in a row. Thanks for coming out to those.
Absolutely. I had a great time.
Oh my God. For me, it's a lot of work, but once the industry gets together and we all start collaborating, yeah, it's all worth it. I know this isn't your first time. You've been on the podcast before. I'm sure our listeners are stoked to hear what we're going to talk about today. I think I was looking back, it's been about a year since you were last on the podcast. So I thought we would just kick it off with what's new at Bikeflights. Maybe let's just start with that, and then I'll have a second part to that question. What's new at Bikeflights?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of new at Bikeflights. A lot have changed, really. Honestly, with more so outside the bike industry in general, it's just how fast technology is moving. It seems like a brand new landscape every single day. And Bikeflights is leaning right into it. Over the last year, we focused really heavily on the user experience, making label creation faster, launching next generation shipment tracking so riders know where their bikes are at all times while in transit, and also finding creative ways to keep costs down despite rising costs and unfortunate inflation. So yeah, we've been busy.
I have to share with our listeners, I have a new connection to Bikeflights since the last time Michael was on. So the NBDA, you can imagine getting ready for our retailer summit events that happen out in Las Vegas and down in Bentonville, Arkansas, and even up in Canada. We are always looking to transport all of our summit goods to these shows. And I connected with Michael and the Bikeflights team, and I said, hey, can you guys help us out? And we have been using Bikeflights to ship some of our summit supplies. And I have to tell our listeners, as someone who I think I knew Bikeflights, I think I understood how the process worked, but being the person now to log into the Bikeflights account, I have my own account, and purchase the shipping labels and then work with your team, like the updates your team gave me, the confidence I had in knowing that our show supplies were going to get there. Like my update is like, wow. Experience with Bikeflights, top notch, 5 stars, mega positive reviews. It's been an amazing thing. So I just want to authentically share my joy for Bikeflights. I actually told a staff member the other day, I will never do this another way. Like we're always going to work with Bikeflights moving forward if you'll have us, because it's been just seamless, like stress-free, like just beautiful. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. Sorry, Michael, but I had to gush about you guys. Your whole team is awesome.
You're making me blush.
What about just shipping, just bike shipping? Any shifts or any updates in this past year that's making you guys work a little bit harder or trying to think through new ways to do the same thing, but better?
Yeah. I mean, at the broader industry shifts, the 2 biggest things we're seeing right now is kind of a renewed discussion in retailers offering an online ordering or fulfillment or just moving more online. We are also finding major carriers, all carriers for that matter, are heavily upgrading their own mechanics and logistics to make transit times and costs much more predictable, more transparent, but also more consistent. And so I think sort of in my opening saying, we're leaning into those shifts as well.
The technology is helping us all raise the level, and it's good to see that retailers are shipping more. So we've been watching those trends like online sales and how those are going up or down. So it's good to hear that we've got some increase there. Yeah, listeners, Michael and Bikeflights has been ready for this at every single summit. So the Retailer Summit series started in 2002, and Michael has been out west with us and down in Bentonville, Arkansas with us, and just really been a great partner. So, Michael, you've been at 2 this year. You were out in Vegas and then at Bentonville like 2 weeks ago now. Biggest takeaways? What are you walking away from the summits thinking fresh on your mind, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. Every summit has been a great experience, just to put that out there. I think every single summit is improved upon, and every time I walk away with good feelings. There is always an incredible amount of positivity in the room. And as Heather said, just having attended my 6th summit since they started in Bentonville and then Vegas and upcoming Canada, I'm really excited for that one. I can definitely say that there's a lot of resilience in the community that attends, whether it's folks fine-tuning their store operations or strengthening supplier relations. Everyone is really locked in. They leave with more confidence about the status of their shop for the future. For me, the biggest takeaway comes in between the sessions, between the sheer power of networking. The bike industry mostly, but certainly with summit attendees, is unique because those attendees leave their egos at the door. You have this massive wealth of knowledge in one room, and everyone is open about sharing their feedback or their playbook and taking away what's working, what's not working, and how we can all work together and make it better. And you can't really replicate that anywhere. So it's been great experiences.
It's interesting. I didn't realize till we were chatting the other day that you had been, I should realize that you've been to every single one, but thank you for being on this journey with us. You put together an agenda and you have a purpose and a goal in mind. But as you said, the feedback that comes in from the attendees is just that powerful networking that happens. Like the people on stage are great and all the sessions are great, but just being in the room with people who are willing to just sit right next to you and share their playbook or talk openly and honestly and support each other. It's like, those are the wow moments. And it's really powerful for me to see that happen and to help facilitate that. So thank you for that.
Oh, it's been great.
Let's be honest, running a bike shop is a lot of work. Between inventory, service orders, and online sales, there's a lot to manage. That's why this episode of Bicycle Retail Radio is proudly sponsored by Lightspeed. Lightspeed powers modern retailers with advanced inventory tracking, built-in work orders, and seamless e-commerce. You can even source products right from inside your POS. If you're serious about growing your bike retail business, visit lightspeedhq.com. That's lightspeedhq.com.
So let's talk a little bit about shipping specifically and fulfillment, and maybe what you're hearing. I know you work with so many retailers, what you're hearing from retailers as like maybe some of those needs are top of mind when they're trying to think about shipping and fulfillment in terms of helping today's customer that comes in their door. Is there anything that's on top of mind that you've been getting a lot of questions about or hearing from retailers often about?
Oh, for sure. Top of mind, and really to address the elephant in the room, it's always going to be cost. Right now, shop owners have enough on their plates, having to worry about fluctuating rates with eating into their own margins. They need to get products to customers affordably and accurately. That's a primary reason why we focused heavily on bringing those costs down this year. Those initiatives like our Top Shop program, we're able to offer deeper discounts than our standard website to retailers. They make margins stronger. But beyond the dollar, the other major challenge is uncertainty. When a shipment goes sideways, retailers don't have time to fight with poor customer service. So we stand behind it with our live customer support team, and we manage that headache for them, giving them a little bit more time and definitely their peace of mind back.
I'm telling you, that peace of mind. Well, you saw me even reach out post Bentonville. I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot to schedule a pickup for these boxes. Can you help me? And your team was right there. It is that peace of mind that goes a long way, especially when our shop owners say are juggling so many things, right? It's like they want to take care of the shipping need and take care of it and check that box and not have to worry about it. And I really feel like that's where you guys shine. I mean, you pretty much have done an amazing job helping our industry figure out bicycle shipping. Without you guys, I don't know where we would be. So thank you. I want to ask you some, I'd say weirder, a little bit different questions based on what you're seeing in consumer behavior.
Okay.
I know you have a lot of riders who book directly with Bikeflights to ship their bikes. And I'm just wondering what trends you're seeing. Where are people going to, or why are they shipping bikes, or what questions do consumers even have? There's a lot of questions there, Michael, but you understand what I'm saying.
It's a lot to unpack regardless. We get a really interesting look at the market through our data. And while people ship for everything from family vacations to housing relocations, definitely the biggest driver right now is either peer-to-peer or e-commerce market shipping. Interestingly, we see an overlap of shipments that are marked as the buy, sell, gift category that are also being shipped to or from a business address. That tells us basically that bike shops and online sellers are leveraging shipping, hopefully Bikeflights, to expand their digital storefronts and reach buyers or customers from perhaps outside their local zip code or perhaps within their local zip code if they're doing an online marketplace and a pickup in store option. But on top of that, we're seeing a trend where local bike shops are turning shipping into dedicated service. So mechanics and salespersons, they're actively marketing a pack and ship option to customers, handling things like the breakdown and the safe boxing of bikes for riders or for customers who are traveling to events, or maybe they've sold a bike online and they're using the local bike shop to help pack their bike. It's a great way for service departments to create a new, different revenue stream for the shop.
Yeah, we've definitely been communicating to our P2 groups. Think about the services you offer. This is a huge service that you can offer, and it makes it easy for your customers to rely on you. So I love that. General question, are you seeing retailers shipping more or less? I don't even know if you have that data in front of you, but just wondering.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to do it a little bit differently. And I think overall, we are seeing more retailers shipping more often. Some retailers want to own the shipping process, everything from packing the bike to creating the shipping label to ensuring it gets out the door. While other retailers may prefer to be the professional bike packer, making sure that the bike is safely packaged and ready for shipping. But maybe they want their customer to purchase the shipping label so that they get that direct communication from our support staff if they need them. No way is a wrong way, but we're certainly seeing more shipments to or from company, primarily retailer addresses.
Excellent. I like that. I want to see more retailers get involved in shipping. I think there's a huge opportunity. Plus, we want to encourage people to travel with their bike, or that we can facilitate those events for them. Talking of events, I know Bikeflights has had a history of working with RAGBRAI and several other events. Are you noticing that people are starting to gear up for events, or anything special there you could share?
Oh, it's event season for sure. Right now, it's really summertime through the fall. We start to see an uptick in vacation and event shipping. Obviously, weather plays a big factor in that. But, we also partner with about a little over 100 events annually to create these really great custom event shipping guides, we call them. They're located on our event calendar on the website, but basically they give riders exact timelines and shipping logistics specific to events, and it takes the guesswork out of traveling. So participants can travel a little more comfortably and maybe just focus on their ride and the fun parts of their travel.
Yeah. And if you're a rider listening to this podcast, which we know you're out there, and you're thinking about attending an event and you want to take your bike, Bikeflights makes it easy with their bike boxes. That's what we use for the Retailer Summit supplies. The bike boxes are amazing. They give you that extra peace of mind too, because they're designed to ship your bike in. And you can see them on their website. We'll link that in the show notes. What are people asking about shipping? So I'm a cyclist. I go to your website. I'm thinking about shipping. Like, what questions are you hearing most often from riders?
I mean, there could be a large variety of questions. Bike shipping is kind of a daunting task in itself, but our goal is to make it so that it's not, and then perhaps a little more confidence inspiring. Of course, the number one person is going to ask, how much does it cost? And, our website's going to give you a really accurate representation of the cost well before you purchase so that you know exactly what it will be ahead of time. You can pull quotes directly on a website and they're non-committal. But On top of that, we have really awesome YouTube channel. We have a really great resource of frequently asked questions, and our support staff is available 7 days a week. So if there's any question not addressed, we have someone there to answer it for you.
Francis here with an important update. Summit Canada is approaching fast. July 29th and 30th, 2026 will be here before you know it, so it's your last chance to secure your spot. We're bringing the NBDA Summit experience to Canada for the first time, and the response has been incredible. Multiple focus areas, countless opportunities to learn from the best Canadian retailers, and connect with peers from across the country. Plus, you'll meet with representatives from HLC, OGC, LTP, and Giant, the distributors who are supporting your success. If you've been waiting to register, now is the time. Don't be the shop that hears about all the breakthroughs and connections after the fact. You need to be in the room on July 29th and 30th. Here's the best part. Registration is completely free for retailers. Head to nbda.com right now and claim your spot. This is it. Summit Canada, July 29th and 30th, 2026. Register now at nbda.com. We'll see you there.
I love that. Yeah, I was going to say, like, are there any surprises or things that are coming out, like rider behavior? But I thought just asking you that question, but you never know what you're going to get, right? Like, you know.
Well, no, I mean, there can be behavior or surprises in terms of behavior, I guess. There's a lot of differences. One thing we have seen lately, and we've done a great job of marketing ourselves and our services for vacations and events, kind of like you said earlier, but it's been interesting to see the move and relocation category outpace the vacation and event category recently. I think we could probably spend a lot of time analyzing like why that might be, why that shift is happening. But I think it highlights a little bit of, some of the effects of the COVID pandemic and people becoming more mobile with more flexible remote work, but also people just relocating for lifestyle or cost of living reasons. I think those might be the drivers, but again, we could probably spend a lot of time dissecting and trying to analyze that as to why.
Yeah, who knows, right? I mean, there's just our world, I feel like, is in this interesting time that I feel like people are trying to focus on what keeps them happy and what's important to them. And maybe it's moving or relocating. And with flexible jobs, still most remote, a lot of remote opportunities, that could be interesting. All right, I'm thinking back to the summit, and I feel like the NBDA and Bikeflights has done a great job year to date, or even last year and the year before that, educating on e-bike shipping. But it still seems to be like the number one question we get from retailers is just like, what do I need to know about e-bike shipping? So I thought maybe you could just give us a rundown maybe of e-bike shipping, like do's and don'ts. I know it's a huge ask as like a part of a podcast, but top things that come to mind that you might share.
Yeah, I mean, definitely top things come to mind when shipping e-bikes. I mean, we've all heard e-bikes are the number one growing category of bicycles. And so if you're not selling e-bikes or maybe even working on e-bikes, you're probably missing out on a chunk of that pie. With shipping with Bikeflights, that is, shipping an e-bike is very similar to shipping a non-e-bike. Although we expect e-bikes to be packaged safely and labeled correctly, similar to non-e-bikes, there are still a handful of differences that are worth highlighting. For one, the battery must be installed in the bike. That's always a little surprising to folks. But that basically means we cannot ship batteries loose inside of a bike box or batteries by themselves. That's because we utilize, this particular exception by the DOT. It's the UN 3171 exception. I'm sure we could talk to Jay Townley about that one. But, e-bikes must be shipped via ground service through the lower 48. But one major consideration, when shipping, whether it's e-bikes or non-e-bikes, is really the box. Reusing boxes is great. But if you're packaging a bike, whether it's, like I said, e-bike or not e-bike, in a previously used box, it's exceptionally important to remove or completely cover any past shipping labels or e-bike or battery, stickers or markings left already on the box. So think of it like this. Some manufacturers even print, those little class 9 diamond labels or battery inside directly on the box. And those are no exception. So those also need to be completely covered or removed if possible. If any of those previous markings, hazmat markings are left visible in any way, the carrier is likely going to stop the shipment while in transit and request a corrective action. And, that results in delays and additional costs, and nobody wants that. So removing or completely covering old labels or hazmat markings, that's the number one driver for sure.
I feel like you're looking right at me because I know the remove all the labels rule, and I've definitely violated that once, but I need to listen to you. I'm not with an e-bike though, but yeah, you got me. But listeners, this is serious stuff. So I think that's really good intel from Michael. And then having the batteries on the bike, so attached physically to the bike, they can't be off the bike. Making sure that even that box reusing is good, but you have to make sure all those labels are off, or just make sure you have the right box to handle an e-bike with the heavier weight too, right, Michael? That's right. Like a consideration.
Well, and I think that's why we're seeing it more often too, is because whether somebody's shipping an e-bike or not, e-bike boxes are typically very sturdy. They're a little bit bigger, so they're easier to pack into. And that's why I think we see that issue, is because they're really great boxes. Folks are going to pack bikes as safely and efficiently as they can. And that oftentimes means in a formerly used e-bike box.
Yeah. So even if you're shipping your acoustic bike or non-e-bike in one of those e-bike boxes, removing all those labels is really important. Thank you for that reminder. Let's see, what else? Oh my gosh, I was stoked to see this. So listen for this. Bikeflights recently announced a new RFID tracking label program. I think this is totally dope because I already think your service is great, but now the fact that you can really have better intel on shipping time, know if a package is lost, like this is game changing. So could you walk our listeners who might not have heard about the new RFID tracking label program and walk us through what's to know there?
Yeah, definitely. We're really excited about this development. And, the RFID, or radio frequency identification, it's basically a system that was previously limited to critical healthcare shipments, like for organs or vaccines, just to keep really, really good eyes on shipments. The RFID service is really close collaboration with our carrier, UPS, and it brings really great tracking to riders domestically within the US. So RFID labels utilize this tiny embedded chip and radio frequency through waves to identify and track shipments without an onboard battery or power source. So they're great. RFID labels are currently being used through Bikeflight shipments. They can be requested by mail. They are limited currently to domestic shipments, but we anticipate that to expand in the future as well.
Can I ask you, how did this come about? Was there a need you were trying to solve for, or you just wanted to further increase what you're offering to your customers? Do you know the background?
Yeah, further increasing confidence in the process for customers. So many different times, whether you're shipping a bike or flying with a bike, or, anytime you're without your bike, you're probably thinking about it. You want to have that confidence of knowing where it is and where it's at and when it's going to deliver. The RFID label, is an enhanced improvement on already great tracking. It just makes it that much better.
I love that. In addition to a clear timeline, what if something goes wrong in transit, like something gets lost? Will this help the retailer be able to have a better sense of where the package is at? I'm imagining it will.
Oh, for sure. It gives our support team, additional tools to track, locate, and get shipments back on transit time. It offers near real-time pickup confirmations, which is really nice. Provides a little bit greater visibility and, like you said, transparency of the shipment as it moves through the carrier network. It should and will provide fewer disruptions and faster resolution for those issues like you asked. But like I said, it really provides more reliability, more confidence that it's going to deliver and arrive on time. And that chain of custody gives you a bit more peace of mind as well.
We all know that running a retail business isn't just about selling bikes. It's about efficient operations and great customer experiences. And with Lightspeed, you can stay on top of it all. Manage everything from sales and inventory to work orders, all in one place. Source products directly in your POS and make smarter decisions with powerful reporting. Learn how Lightspeed helps bike retailers work smarter at lightspeedhq.com. That's lightspeedhq.com.
So this podcast is airing in July. So this product is already out. And if our retailers listening, or if we have riders listening, they want to know more about how to add this to a package or how this, is part of the process. Can you just give us a little bit more on like how someone could select an RFID as part of their Bikeflights experience?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you go to bikeflights.com and purchase a shipping label, on the order confirmation page, you'll have the option to simply download and print, a standard shipping label, whether that be a paper copy or a thermal adhesive backing copy. But you also have the option to request one by mail. And if you do that, it is a couple bucks, but we will express ship an RFID enabled shipping label directly to your pickup address and schedule your pickup, and you'll automatically be receiving those RFID tracking scans throughout the transit of your shipment.
Oh my God, that's pretty cool. That's easy. All right. So you purchase your label. We've all been to that page where it's like print, or there's options there on how you want to get your label. So if you select to have it sent to your house, you'll have the RFID as part of that. So that's super clear.
Absolutely.
All right. I got a couple more questions for you, Michael. I feel like you're in the hot seat today. I'm just rapid fire.
I know, you're grilling, but it's good. I like it.
Okay, so it's like mid 2026. I feel like the last big like shipping thing we kind of navigated was e-bike shipping, right? Like we're kind of like we're in that now. We're understanding that a little bit now. Any other shifts you see coming down the pipeline in bike shipping over the next year? Or maybe I should ask that, like if you were a retailer, maybe what you might want to be paying attention to as far as shipping concerns?
Yeah, I think overall consumer expectations are shifting in a way that may influence a retailer and how they plan to generate revenue or generate different sales streams. So probably the emerging online marketplace and presence where, shops are increasingly needing to be online, whether that be for selling on a website or selling on a marketplace, or even offering things like online reservations for services. I think we're going to see more shops moving online, and consumers are going to request those immediate results. So offering tools to keep them engaged and active is going to retain those customers for the long term.
Excellent. So even like we talked about earlier in the podcast, the retailers who are promoting that they can be a source, a solution for shipping, we really want to make sure that we're communicating that on our website, that our staff is aware and everyone knows how to communicate that and help a rider with their shipping needs.
Absolutely. You're never closed if you have an online presence. So, I think you're always engaging at that point.
Talking a little bit more about retailers helping riders facilitate shipping. I love the Bikeflights website, bikeflights.com/bicycle shops. I love this page because it allows our riders to look for a bike shop in their community. So for me, I'm in upstate New York. I put my zip code in, I put like shops within 25 miles, and I've got a list of like 10 shops. And very easy to see. Bikeflights does this great because you're listing the shop name, the address, the hours they're open, the services they offer, and then a consumer can actually say, they can click on a box, ship from, ship to. And so the consumer can opt to do business with your shop through this webpage, which is fabulous. In addition, if you're an NBDA member, you'll have a little NBDA logo next to your shop, which is pretty cool. And if you're a Top Shop member, you'll have that logo next to your shop. So long story short, Michael, if there's a retailer listening who wants to be on this list and they're not already, what do they need to do to get on here?
No doubt. And, we love working with retailers. Any retailer, big, small, remote or not, we want to help make shipping a better experience for you. So send us an email, topshop@bikeflights.com, or give us a call. We'll help you get set up with a new account. We will get your Top Shop discount added with a little special NBDA member benefit on top of that, as well as activate your Bike Shop Finder listing that Heather just described. And we'll get that done in just a matter of a couple minutes.
I love it. I love it. So Michael, I guess we're going to see you up in Canada end of July for the NBDA Retailer Summit. Stoked about that. Thanks for coming up there.
I'm really excited for this one.
We're in Whistler, right? Like that's
no kidding. I've never been. in conjunction with Crankworks, but just being in Whistler in general, I'm so excited for.
Yeah, so it's the first time we're bringing the industry together in Canada in this big summit format. We're at this wonderful art center, and you're going to take the stage and give a great presentation, a motivational, inspirational message. So thrilled to have you there. And we're going to do some riding too. So that'll be really nice. Yeah.
For sure. You'll have to ship your bike.
For sure. I'm already working on it. Thanks for coming back on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for spending time with us on Bicycle Retail Radio. If this episode resonated with you, subscribe and share it with another retailer who could use the insight. Join us every week for new conversations and fresh perspectives to keep you ahead of the curve. The NBDA is constantly creating events, webinars, and resources built specifically for bicycle retailers. Check out what's coming up at nbda.com. Shout out to Francis Abbott for today's graphics. Interested in sponsoring an episode or know someone we should talk to? Head to nbda.com. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time.